Hey, April, it's Linda. Well, listen, I'm sorry I didn't get to fill out that stuff yet, but I had a event yesterday, which was a bomb. So I'm switching gears here, and I really want to jump on board with what you're doing. But as I read through your stuff, and I'm looking at the statistics, and I'm looking at the needs and my skill, I have this book that needs to get out there, and it looks like it's backwards, but it says this is what the children wrote: all season front row seat to the fights, whether you want to be there or not. The kids wrote this. The ticket number: why are you sad? I thought that was pretty creative. So I'm just going to read this book quick. I need to know how can I get this out quickly? I mean, I could certainly upload this. It needs to be reprinted. It's so old, it's got my old name on it, so the whole thing really needs to be redone. But the following book was written and illustrated with help from the many elementary school children that I have worked with over the years. These children share with us in the most direct ways what alcohol, drug abuse, and domestic violence is doing in their lives. The purpose in writing this book was to help other children know that they are not alone, and to let adults know that they don't want to be afraid anymore. They want the violence to stop. When we as adults model to children violent ways of dealing with conflict, we teach them to do the same. We must learn healthier ways of coping with conflict so we can teach our children. At the back of this book, you will find a list of resources where you can get help. Our children have a right to feel safe, and if we don't ensure their safety, someone else may take that right from us. So here's the book. The first thing here's the picture from a kindergartner. It says, my dad is saying mean things to my mom. They get into a fight. Dad starts hitting mom. I feel sad and scared that one of them might get hurt or that I might get hurt. I mean, the kindergartner, look at this. Look at that sad face that she drew. My dedication was to the children who have been willing to break the no talk rule long enough to allow healing and hope to begin. Their courage and strength and the incredible depth of their empathy in giving to others like themselves inspired the need for this book. This book is for their healing, hoping that in sharing with others they will gain new strength to endure. This bubble says, I am crying because my mom and dad are fighting. Mom called 911. I was a different kindergartner. So I'm just seeing how I can fit into this, because this particular book is about alcohol. I mean, and how that influenced. Your situation was more mental health. But I mean, I've got all kinds of drawings that we could do of kids from all different kinds, and I'm sure your kids could draw lots of pictures to do another book like this. I have a family that fights. The fights usually start when my dad has been drinking. When I try to stop the fights, he gets really mad and yells, shut up. When my mom tries to work it out, my dad gets mad. He doesn't want us to hear what the problems are. When we find out, they get mad. They think we will tell our friends. This bubble says, I get scared when my dad has been drinking. He comes up to my room to see if we are asleep, and if we're not, he yells at us. Sometimes I pretend. That picture was drawn by a third grader. Okay. When mom and dad fight, I hide in my bed. My legs are kicking because I can't sleep when they are fighting. This is a different kid, second grader. If people start asking questions about my family, my parents get really mad. They don't like people trying to find out what problems my family is having. We are never supposed to talk about it. They say it is a private family matter. I wish it did only affect my family, but it doesn't. When my family fights, it is usually at night. I try to ignore it, but I can't. I hide in a closet or in my room until it's over. That's him. You see his legs kicking. That's that little circle there. I remember each one of these kids, too. This was 25 years ago. One time when my mom was getting hurt, she ran up to my room and picked me up out of bed so my dad would quit hitting her. He was so drunk and mad that he hit me instead. Then we ran out of the house to go to a safe place. This is a kindergartner. My mom is running with me to go to grandma's house because my dad is hitting her. I feel sad and scared. When I have to go to school the next day, I always bring my problems with me. I don't mean to, but I take out my problems on my friends. They ask me what is wrong with me, and I say nothing, but that's a lie. Sometimes I am just tired. Other times I'm worried that my mom might be getting hurt when I'm at school. I wonder who will get hurt tonight. Maybe tonight it will be me. This was a heart wrencher. Fourth grader. He's outside in the middle of the night. Mom's on the floor. Yeah, we got to do something because it's worse right now during COVID. I think about running away from home, but I don't have anywhere to go. Once I did run away. I was gone for 3 hours, but nobody noticed. They were too busy fighting and worrying about themselves. This was a fifth grader. I'm hiding in the woods, but nobody even noticed I was gone. So this one was a fifth grader that wrote that. This is a fourth grader that drew a picture of his mom crying and dad standing there. There's the bottle on the table. I wonder if my parents will get divorced. Sometimes I wish they would. Maybe then the fighting would stop, but who would I live with? I don't think I want to live with either one of them. Maybe I can live with Grandma. And this is a first grader. I wish I moved out of the home. Tragic. One day at school, a special teacher came to our class and helped us to understand that it is not good to hold bad feelings inside. We learned that it is important to have an adult you can trust to help you figure out your problems. It felt good to be able to talk about what was making me so sad and mad and scared. I learned a lot of things that have helped me to feel better. This says, talk to someone when you have a problem. Grade 6. That was actually my daughter that drew that picture. She was in 6th grade, not that she grew up in, she was just little when we got divorced. I learned that keeping bad secrets can give you stomach aches, headaches, and other problems. It is also very hard to think about schoolwork when the problem is eating you up inside. I learned that some people can't quit drinking and fighting. They don't know how. But there are people that can help them just like they helped me. They could help my family too. All my family needs to do is to ask for help. I learned that when my family fights, it is not my fault. Even when parents argue about something I said or did, it is not my fault if they start hitting each other. I don't have to feel guilty. I learned that I can't make my family stop fighting, but I can keep myself safe. Sometimes I might need to tell an adult who can do something to help me stay safe. I have a right to be and feel safe. I had to do a lot of work with the kids on self-talk. So this little 6th grader has his headphones on. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. He keeps saying to himself. As you know, kids take the blame for things. They think they should be able to fix it. We got a really bad storm starting here. So when things start getting scary because of all the fighting and yelling, don't forget, get away to a safe place. Call for help. Talk to someone you can trust. If I had one thing to tell parents, it would be, please stop fighting. We are scared. And when I would tell them to call one of the numbers at the back of this book so they can get some help. If I had only one thing to tell other kids, I would tell them, talk to someone you can trust. And if that first person doesn't help, talk to someone else until you feel safe. Oh, there's one more picture of a separated family and a sad kid. So then I just put some different numbers on here. But all this can be easily changed if you're willing to help. On the back I put, sometimes my family doesn't know how to be nice to each other. When they fight, I feel sad and scared. But I found a way to feel better. If you read this book, maybe you can feel better too. I hope so. You deserve it. Ooh, I should probably go in the other room because I'm right by windows. And it's